What's up, everybody? Welcome to Bios3 Raw TV. Got something very interesting to talk to you guys today about. And probably it's not going to make much sense. Well, if you listen to what we're talking about, it will not make much sense. But it will also make perfect sense, if that makes any sense at all. Anyways, I got an email by an individual, and he was pissed. He was so mad that he had seen this video about this individual who runs a YouTube channel that's basically about raw foods, the raw diet, raw, everything raw. Now, while the raw diet is nothing new, it's been around a long time, as well as food combining, where you had like all your protein in one meal, all your carbs in another meal, all your vegetables in one meal, separated throughout the day. Like, none of these things are new. They've been around for a very, very long time. But this new raw diet, which is becoming a fad again, eating only raw foods, vegetables, etc. And this individual that has this channel, and I'm looking at it right now, has a lot of hits. So it's definitely catching on, and people are, they're watching it. Whether or not they buy into the bullshit or not is a whole other thing. And I can't really talk and say what his name is because he may be a YouTube partner, which we can't do. We can't make fun of them. We can't call them out. We can't do any of that stuff when we're part of YouTube. So I have to keep it kind of anonymous, okay? So this individual states that the body does not need protein. And as soon as, I got this email, I was like, okay, let me see what this is about, okay? So I went on this thing and watched it. And he claims that the body doesn't need protein. It needs amino acids, which he's correct. It needs amino acids. Now, where else other than protein are you going to get amino acids? Yes, you could take supplements. You could supplement your ass off and get all your aminos that way. You could go to the doctor and get an IV hooked up full of IV amino acids if you wanted to. That'd probably work too. But where the fuck else are you supposed to get amino acids from? I mean, you don't just walk down the street and go, oh, amino acid, I'll take this one, I'll take that one, aminos. Oh, great, aminos. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to eat protein to get aminos. Now, his thing is he's saying not, more specifically, don't eat protein-laden foods. Don't eat chicken, don't eat beef, don't eat turkey, don't eat eggs, egg whites, don't eat any of that stuff. Only eat raw foods. In his case, vegetables. Okay, this guy wants you to get all your protein from vegetables. And he talks about how everything you don't even need a complete source of protein. Vegetables are just fine. And he goes on to say very clearly, look at what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at what I do. I don't eat this stuff. I don't do this. And I have zero body fat, which nobody has zero body fat, so that's a bullshit claim right there. He claims to be 15 pounds overweight of muscle for his height to weight ratio, 15 pounds. First of all, as soon as I looked at him, he looks ill. He looks gaunt. Okay, he looks like he's not healthy. But he claims to be healthy. Fine. Okay, he's great. He's healthy. He's not muscular. I mean, he's lean, but he's not big. So for him to gain that 15 pounds above what he should be, I don't know where he's getting that from, but he definitely doesn't look 15 pounds above his body weight for his skeletal structure because he still looks very thin. And okay, he has his shirt open where you can see his muscularity and his pecs and stuff, and they're not that muscular. Okay, his face does have that strange look to it there. There's a lean look to your face that a bodybuilder gets, and you can notice like Dennis Wolf and these guys, it's very, like you can see the muscles in your face. Now, if you look at an anorexic who's been starving themselves, you can see the bones in their face, but you don't see that muscularity because the muscle gets chewed up. It's a more unhealthy look. Okay, it's a depleted look. It's something that, if you put Dennis Wolf next to an anorexic and test both their body fats, they may be the same amount of body fat, but there's a different look to it. People, it's a drug look. Your fucking face doesn't get a drug look to it, okay? The muscles in your face don't get a drug look. Or all the natural bodybuilders, let's take it further and say that. All the natural bodybuilders that get down to like 2% body fat, their faces have that lean, strided, muscular look. You can actually see things move around in their face, whereas an anorexic doesn't have it. They get very sunken eyes, but you don't see the muscularity in their face. They look very ill or malnourished. It's a malnourished look is exactly what we're trying to get at. Well, this guy has that look to his face. So now he goes on to say, oh, I have so much energy and this and that, and, life is so great. And he says, if I needed protein, then why am I doing so well? It's always about him. Why am I doing so well without having protein? I don't eat protein. And I'm out running guys that are half my age, I look half my age and blah, 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 blah. And the whole time I'm listening to this guy talk, I'm actually understanding he doesn't fucking get it. He doesn't even understand Those are his genetics. That what's happening with it. And I have seen the same exact fucking thing in Kevin Levrone. The same fucking thing. The guy doesn't need to eat barely any protein and can grow muscle. And he'll be bigger than this fucking guy. If Kevin ate all vegetables all day, he would be bigger, stronger, more muscular than this guy. He doesn't even eat a lot of food because he grows so fast. But Kevin understands that's his genetics. Not everybody's like that. He doesn't go out there and say, well, you should all do this because of this. No, this guy doesn't get it. And the more that he pushes the fact that, well, I do this, I do that, and he's not giving any examples of this, that, and the other thing. He's saying, well, the why. Tell me why I can do this. Tell me why I can do that. Well, first of all, Kevin looks younger than I do. And he's like 46 years old or something like that. Sorry, Kevin, if you're 45, but he's got less gray hair than I do. Kevin has less gray hair than I do. And I'm like 10 years younger than him. Why? It's his genetics. He has barely aged since you started seeing him in bodybuilding magazines 15, 20 years ago. Why? It's not because he's eating fucking raw vegetables. It's not because he's using the juice machine. It's not because of the trillions of little enzymes and molecules. It's because of his genetics. This guy goes on to say enzymes contain amino acids. Yes, but you got to have all the amino acids. So are you combining all these foods to get these? Like, he's not making any sense because he's taking somewhat of like, what science says, which enzymes are amino acids, or contain amino acids, or may lead to shaping and maintaining and making amino acids. And I don't need to eat all this. Well, science does say this, but science didn't say you never needed to fucking eat protein. That's your individual basis. And what happens is you're going to get some individuals that respond to this who have genetics, like Kevin or this guy. And then you're also going to get people like, who's a hard gainer, who if they ate fucking vegetables would weigh 110 pounds and be half dead because they'd be malnourished. Let's just shut this message off over here. So be aware, guys. There's a lot of stuff on here, and I honestly don't, listening to this guy and talking to him, I don't know him for a fact. I don't know him as a, he's not a friend of mine. But watching this, I'm like, you know what? I really believe that he believes this because this is what's happening to his body. He's like many other trainers out there. When they do something for themselves, this works for me. They apply it to all their fucking clients because they think that's how it works. But that's not a fact. Just because something works for you doesn't mean it's going to work for someone else. And again, the raw food thing, fad, coming back again, back in the mainstream. He's pushing it. People are all going to, oh, here we go again, the raw food diet, food combining, the no oil diet. It just all comes around full circle again. This is nothing new. But be aware, I really don't think this guy is doing anything malicious. I really think he thinks everybody's body works like his. And he can eat fucking celery and lettuce and still fucking be athletic and not look like a friggin' 2-year-old with friggin' no muscle mass and still look pretty good and feel pretty good. But it's a genetic thing, not a raw food thing. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. www.biostraining.com is a blog and where it's the vegetarian raw food bicep, and we're out.